Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Indie Hangout. I am Neumatix. You may know me over on YouTube or over on Twitch if you add an extra X at the end. I'm, of course, joined by my amazing co-hosts, Maz and Kronos. What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys? Maz from Maztech Gaming. Maztech Gaming over on YouTube. Maztech_gaming VODs over on YouTube. And Maztech_gaming on Twitch. That's a mouthful.
What's going on, everybody? Kronos here. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch at OSOK space Kronos.
Nice. All right, guys. We're creeping up to the end of the month here. And with that comes another great topic. So I didn't want to get into any of the games coming out in October. I think we're going to save that for the next episode. So our listeners, be sure to go ahead and listen in the Discord and for any kind of hints at what we're going to be digging into for the new games coming out in October. But for this one, we wanted to go ahead and share with you guys and talk about solo devs conquering the indie landscape in general. So we've had quite a few guests on the Indie Hangout so far, and talking to each one of them has given us a bit of insight and a bit more insight into the indie scene in general when it comes to solo devs. Exploring these solo developers, they're one person powerhouses turning personal visions into massive hits. We've seen many of them throughout our discussions and the ones that we've never heard of. And I wanted to go ahead and talk about, like, even in 2025, solo devs like the one behind Supermarket Simulator. How many times we talk about simulator games? Not too long ago, we just passed up an episode where we're like, why do we like games about doing things in real life that we don't like doing in real life? Like, we like doing it in the game, but not in real life. So, like, Supermarket Simulator, dude. I had a buddy of mine that I worked with who I would never have picked as a gaming guy. Like, he's big time into dirt bikes and going out mountain biking and doing these crazy adventures, right? And he comes up to me one day and he goes, "Hey, man, hey, you heard about this Supermarket Simulator game?" Yeah. Yeah. Like, I wasn't even interested in it myself, but he was super interested in it. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm on a call with a bunch of my buddies. We're going to start playing it." I'm like, okay. It's crazy because these games are even bringing in people that would not normally play games in general. So that's how much of an impact these solo devs are having. So, can you guys think of some other big top games that have been busting at the seams that you guys like, where did this come from? So, for me, it definitely was a Supermarket Simulator game. And before we get into that, did you guys play Supermarket Simulator?
No, actually, I never played Supermarket Simulator.
Wasn't there? Is that the only one, or was there another one?
There are a
So,
couple of other ones, I think. Go on, Kronos. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, so there is one that came out that like is actually technically like the whole reason why I'm in this podcast and back into streaming right now is the TCG Card Shop Simulator. I hadn't played games in like months, and I seen that game had come out, and I'm like, I'm gonna play this. And then it was just like it drawed me in because I collect a lot of cards and stuff, so it was really fun to play.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Miss?
Supermarket Simulator was fun. I got about 12 hours into it myself.
No way.
It's pretty addicting. It's 1.37 gigabytes. That's the size of the file. And the reason why it's the relevance here is you were talking about, are there other ones? There's a game called Supermarket Together, which is actually a multiplayer version of Supermarket Simulator, pretty much. And that's
Okay.
8.62 gigabytes. So it's much larger.
Wow.
And they update that a lot more. So actually you have like an entire supermarket, like a big box type store rather than just a small supermarket like you have in Supermarket Simulator.
Gotcha. Okay. That might be the one that my buddy was getting into because obviously multiplayer, so that makes sense. Yeah. Something like, I don't know. I would think something like this would kind of be laughed at maybe even 10 years ago. Someone coming out with a game like that, you're like, "Oh, who's going to play this?" Someone going to jump onto the next Call of Duty, man. What are you playing Supermarket Simulator for? It's just kind of a fun turn of events seeing these small indies come up with games like this that actually just dominate, man. Dominate over AAA titles even. So, and TCG Card Shop Simulator, I remember you talking about that one, Kronos, as well. And it's definitely a big pull for people in card games and stuff like that. So I could see that. And then also we had Schedule One. I remember that. I think that came out literally when we first aired this podcast. I think either episode 1 or 2 is when Schedule 1 came out, and that was made by a single dev as well. Was it around then when we do
I
you
think
guys
it
remember?
was. I can't remember exactly.
It was because it came out with Repo, and I know we were talking about Repo a ton when we first started
Yeah.
with this. So it was right out there. We started, so our first episode aired May 1st, 2025. I can't believe here we are in the middle of September. Actually, at this point, by the time people are listening to this, the tail end of September,
Yeah.
which is just absolutely insane. I can tell you, Schedule 1 came out actually March 2025. So it was out probably about a week before we started recording our episodes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's crazy to think, guys. We've been at this 5 months already.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
really I think it's been awesome for us and our listeners to share a passion over these indie games and to kind of open up us to so many more and our listeners to so many more that probably would have never heard of otherwise. I mean, besides the big ones popping up, like Silk Song and even Schedule 1 when that came out, that was all the hype. It was front page on Steam. It's been
Yeah,
it's been
it
a
was
lot of fun.
unanticipated.
Yeah.
There was no,
Yeah.
it's like, okay. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, it's like, whoa, where's this game been?
Yeah, honestly. This game's like this. I mean, Schedule 1 hitting nearly 500,000 concurrent players on Steam. Holy crap, dude.
That's
Jeez.
insane.
And if you guys remember, there's scrutiny behind that too. And we'll probably be referencing a lot of past episodes in this episode, but when we had mentioned Schedule 1, we had talked about, another indie coming out and trying to sue Schedule 1 over their game and pretty much being mad about it because of their success and trying to be like, well, they copied me. And oh, if they have any kind of similarity in their code, then, I have the right to have, whatever money from them, blah, blah, blah. And it's just crazy how it came up. And you guys remember when we were talking about that and it was like, yeah, but if Schedule 1 only brought in like a hundred people, then this wouldn't even be a discussion, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's crazy how success, it kind of, I don't know, kind of reminds me of toddlers, right? You give your toddler a toy. You got two toddlers in your house, and you give one a toy, and they don't play with it for 3 months. The other toddler starts playing with that toy, and all of a sudden, that's my toy. I want to play with it. And I kind of feel like that's the way that we act as developers, that they feel that our IP has been stolen, and because it's successful, we want a piece of that. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it's what I think of. It's childish.
Got more attention than me. I don't
Yeah, my
like
game
it.
wasn't as good, but I want monies.
Telling on him. So yeah, man. Yeah, crazy, man. Thinking about it back then. We haven't really dug into that afterwards. I'd be curious on what kind of I'm assuming nothing has come up of that yet, being only we're coming up on close to 6 months now since all that went down. But, stuff like that takes honestly years in court because the laws aren't up to par with the technology nowadays and these edge case situations with developers. But, in any case, with these devs, these solo devs, like I said, bringing in 500,000 concurrent players. I mean, this isn't just Schedule 1. This is many other solo devs. And it's just one person worked on this game. And so, you know, it's amazing to just think about that when you got AAA companies that may be struggling, and maybe that's why we see so many AAA studios shutting down because they can't keep up with the way games are going nowadays. So why now, right? Why now? So maybe it has something to do with it being a little bit easier for an indie to release a game, like regardless if it's a solo or if it's a small team. We've brought up the whole thing about Silk Song, right? And Hollow Knight Silk Song. And that's come out. That was a team of three. And a lot of it is based on their experience from making Hollow Knight in the first place. And the second game definitely banked off that. But there's so many other things that can help developers out nowadays. So remember we had talked about AI being able to assist in prototyping. Before you listen to Thomas Brush, he had a couple people on and they'll be like, yeah, when you prototype, you'll prototype probably like 10 different ideas. And as you're doing that, you're like, okay, maybe not this one. Scrap this, scrap this one, scrap this one, add this one to this one. Does this work? No, yes, whatever. Well, how much faster does that go when you have AI to assist you? You know? Instead of spending weeks, maybe you spend a couple days. I know we've talked about that too, where it seems nowadays it's just easier to get your information within 15 seconds from AI than spending, a whole weekend getting into something. So you guys probably agree too, right? When it comes to like Godot or Godot, Godot, Godot. I'm gonna get so much hate. I've been
God
calling it
dot.
Godot. God,
God dot
go,
it.
Godot. But it's probably nicer, having something like that. And you guys have probably seen too that Godot has seen a bit of a rise in 2025. A lot more people are using that engine.
100%. It's more
Yeah.
streamlined, a little bit more stable from what I understand. I was kind of listening to part of Thomas Brush talking to another indie developer who will only use God dot because it's so streamlined, and it sounds like that. I've used Unity before. It is resource heavy. It is a little bit difficult to learn. But yeah, Godot is something that it's 100% free. It doesn't cost. There's no royalties due to them. I believe I'm talking about the correct engine here. Like with Unity, if you hit 100, I think it's $100,000 in sales, you got to give them a percentage. Same thing with Unreal. But with Godot, there's no royalties at all. They just want you to use, give them credit for that's the engine I used, which that's worth its weight in gold right there if you're a developer for sure.
Yeah, honestly, it's something that's made me double think about using Unity. But I've talked about it before is that, when a developer has been learning an engine, they kind of just stick with that engine. But knowing that I could make my game in Godot and release it and not have to worry about, a cut of my game going to a huge chunk of my game going to them when I hit a certain amount, almost like licensing. It almost seems like why wouldn't you, right? I mean, you're gonna have to learn things anyways, and as a dev, that's so true with everything, with having to learn how to make your own sprite art, coding, level design, game design, world design, whatever you call, all the different mechanics, what works, what doesn't, prototyping, all these things, right? Just take it. You know what? Just dig in even more. Just grab something else, grab a new engine, and learn it. I don't know if you guys have you either of you. I know we've talked in private about it a few times, but you guys have thought about jumping into a bit of game dev just to get your feet wet and see what it's like. Is this an engine you would think about going to just to learn?
Yeah, I would definitely give it a shot. Because like I don't know nothing about it, engines right now because I'm extremely fresh into game creating stuff, so it's all new to me. So if it's more like as Matt said, streamlined and easier to use, I would probably prefer to go with that one.
Yeah, I'm not far enough into my development journey where I am necessarily married to any particular engine, right? And it's something I am definitely interested in doing. I'm writing storylines in the back end right now. I'm taking my sweet time with it right now because I'm really focusing on content creation on YouTube, streaming on Twitch. I really want to get these indie game showcases to take off. I think it's important duty for somebody who's breaking into the indie game industry like we are. I believe it's important for us to help these developers that don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to marketing. We talked about it in last week's episode when we were talking with Paul Hubens, the developer for Madhouse, saying, "I'm not very good at marketing." Well, that's where you die. You need to do that. And so I've spent a lot of time doing that, and I'm afraid with the way that my mentality works is that my split focus becomes focus on one at some point. So if I do content creation and game development, it'll eventually become just game development, or it'll just go back to just content creation until I can find a way to make that work. And I know right now that you are kind of the opposite of that right now. You've gotten away from content creation at the moment and focusing more on game development. So it's kind of, it's hard to split your focus, especially when it comes to game development. I mean, if you are doing, Paul Hubens says that he is doing this from the time he wakes up in the morning to the time he goes to bed at night. He's been doing this for 2 years. How can you possibly do a solid job creating content while you're developing a game, if that's the case.
Yeah. Dude, I wish I had the time to just work on my game as much as I could. I'll be
I
honest, I
hear
was
you.
jealous. I was jealous when he said it, but I
He's got a nice
honestly,
little setup for himself. He does.
yeah, man, that's nice. That's awesome. I mean, kudos to him. It's awesome that he's going to be able to do that because you can tell by his work that it shows and that he's going to be able to get that game out. Even early access is very smart. He's getting it out there to people to play so he can listen in on what people want out of his game, what they're finding issues with. It's really, really cool, and he has the time, that's one thing I've always thought about, like, if I were to release so a lot of listeners don't know, like, right now, and you're right, Maz, so I've kinda stepped away from content creation, and I'm just focusing on my games. So, I have my big game that I'm working on, and then I've started a small game that I'm working on, and I wanted to get the small game started so that I can get it released within hopefully 6 months to a year. That's my approach right now, and work on my big game maybe in the times that I'm getting bored of my little one, something to kind of let the edge off a little bit when I'm working on those. But yeah, if I had the time to work on those games all the time, I'd feel more comfortable doing what he did and doing early access because I feel like when you get your game on Steam, like the clock starts running and like the anxiety starts burning and you're fearful almost of not going fast enough. And this is just me personally. This is how I look at it if I were to do it. Cause then I'm like, oh crap, okay. Now I really gotta get going. All right, it's an early access. Oh, I'm getting all these things from everyone. I'm getting all these players are throwing these things at me. And a lot of them you probably don't really have to pay attention to. So the ones you got to dig out, and be like, okay, no, this is really an issue, or no, that's a really a good idea. For him, it's probably easier having that much time because he can get something and then immediately start working on it, right? Where if it were me, I would get it and be like, "Oh crap, it's Monday. I gotta wait till the weekend in order to get on this and actually try and dig in," right? Because we've talked about it before with other devs that came on where I'm lucky if I get 2 hours a night to work on my game between going to work, coming home, eating dinner, spending time with my family, taking care of anything around the house. And it's even worse, like around now, you guys probably have it too, where family has a lot of stuff going on during the nice summer months, spring, summer months. And it can be hard to even get regular stuff done around the house. So, let alone your hobby. So, yeah, it's tough, ranted on about that. But yeah, I like just to settle in there. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of that. So it would be nice. It would be really nice. It makes me curious if some of these other devs have the time to work on their games like Fubens does. So let's dig in once again. Schedule one, right? Viral simulator, huge hit. It actually is developed. The guy or girl, whoever developed it, is anonymous. They didn't want to be known, right? They used Unity, believe it or not. And of course, we already stated it came out this year. And if anyone doesn't know, if all the listeners didn't know about Schedule One, it's a drug dealing empire building simulator. It's so weird to say. Like, would you ever thought like a game like that? I mean, you think GTA, right? I guess, right? But really, just based a drug dealing game. That's what it is,
Dude, they've been around way longer than you realize. There was a
right?
game, and I can't find it nowadays. It was on Windows. It was just like a little stock market game with drugs. You could buy different types of drugs. You could go to different parts of the world. It's just like a little quick little HTML, not an HTML game, but just like a little Windows clicker, almost like Minesweeper type caliber, right? And you could like build up your wealth that way. But there was also a website, and I don't know how I came across it. I think actually this is back like in the mid 2000s that I'm talking about here. And I think I found this when I was looking for that game to show to play. There is a website now called Hawkward.com, HAWKWARD.com. They bought a game called Drug Runners. Drugrunners.net was the old URL for that. And that is so much fun because you can play as different classes. You can play as ex-military, crap, businessman, a gangster, whatever you want, right? And you grow and sell drugs and you have cartels that you can create like with your friends. And it was crazy. I mean, this game was so old, people were using IRC. I don't know if you guys remember that. like that old like real-time chat
Oh my
before
god.
Discord. Yeah, I mean, I'm really
Yeah.
dating myself here. This is even before like Team Stream. So,
Oh
and then they had
man.
Oil Empires Clash. It's a really cool game, and they sold it out to this Hawkward.com company, Hawkward Gaming. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, those games, I enjoyed it. I met some really cool people, some people that I still talk to today, 20 years later, from playing that. Even my wife and I played it for a good while, but it's one of those addicting games where you stay up all night playing it sometimes. So, but yeah, I digress. These drug simulation games have been around for a minute, which really kind of it surprises me because it's such a taboo subject, right? But hey, you know
Right.
what? Drugs are bad, okay? But at the same time, let's go make some in a game. You know, I don't understand.
let's go. Let's
So,
let's
some fun facts for Schedule 1. It was made by TVGS Studios,
Okay.
which stands for, or sorry, TVGS is what it is, which stands for Tyler's Video Game Studio.
Okay. So
Yeah.
not so anonymous after all.
Yep. Yeah, he put his name right there in the name of the company. But he made the game over 3 years. It's all it took him was 3 years of development.
I see. It's stuff like this is like it's like what was his work life like? What was his
Yeah.
life like that allowed him the time to do it? I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, like I said, kudos to the guy. I mean, probably doesn't have to work another day in his life if he wants, and just continue work on updates for Schedule One, or to go ahead and make the next in the series, whatever it may be, or work on whatever the heck he wants. But geez, dude, it's crazy, man. Makes you really think. I just wish that we always talk about it too as content creators, as developers. We wish we had way more time. It's just it could just give me like 5 more hours in the day, and maybe I can get a bit more done, right? So
Or just let us hit the lottery and then just don't worry about it. And then we could
yeah,
just take all of our time doing the stuff that we really want to do.
absolutely, man.
Well, I mean, all we gotta do is create a game like Schedule 1 and we could hit the lottery
There
from
you go. All right.
released in March, and by the end of May, it had sold 8 million copies and made over 125 million in 3 months or 2 months.
All right. How about this, guys? We'll be the next Team Cherry. Us three work together, get a game out, and live off the income from that. All right, and get to working on our next one. Deal?
100% on board.
Yeah, let's go. Let's roll. Start right
Let's do
now.
it. All right,
What
you
do we
guys,
need? What do we
y'all.
need? A week? 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You heard it here first, listeners. Get ready. We'll come up with a name later. Oh, it's good, man. It's good. It's fun. It's fun to think about. It's fun to get into. So, another thing about Schedule One is they borrowed loops, game loops. We talk about game loops all the time and how important they are to these games, and really why people really get into them as much as they do. But they borrowed these loops, some of the loops from Power World, and with all its wacky twists like cop chases and stuff like that. So, but bringing up Power World, we have a little update about them before we dive in even further here from Mr. Kronos. You had heard about something from this game?
So, Pocket Pair, the company that created Power World, they decided that with all the success from Power World, that they were going to create what they call Pocket Pair Publishing, to where they're helping out smaller developers publish their game and actually help them develop it along the way to give back to the community is exactly how they worded it. They said they want, thanks to their success, they wanted to give back to other people trying to make games in the community.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Love that kind of stuff, man. I love that kind of stuff. The fact that they're actually, with their success, they're trying to give back to the community. That's really cool. Even with, and it tells you, like, it makes you kind of like that studio even more and kind of be like, oh, why you got to go and try and sue them, Nintendo? Come on. Other thing, I remember something about Pokemon, right? With Nintendo. What is it? No, not with just Pokemon, but Nintendo licensed, or they didn't license, they trying to
Did.
copyright. Go ahead, Smash. Yeah, I
They
think you're the one that
patented.
shared that with me.
They patented it. It is a patent for a game mechanic where you can no longer add in any game unless it's a Nintendo game a means to summon a character in a game to fight for you. But it's such a broad. The problem is not that, because I mean, obviously you got Pal World, which pissed Nintendo off, right?
Right.
You had you have all kinds of Pokemon ripoffs. You got Digimon. People love Digimon.
Yeah.
It's a ripoff of Pokemon though. Without Pokemon, there's no goddamn Digimon. I mean, let's not split hairs here.
Right.
And I think the problem is that there are always people trying to add games. It's like, oh, this is a Pokemon, not a Pokemon. And we've got this little sphere where we can catch these animals. And I think it's like Nintendo has really, for 30 years now, really honed their craft and cornered the market with this. I think they've kind of had enough. But it's broad enough that it's scaring other developers. Where it says, and I don't have the legalese in front of me, but it's kind of along the lines of like, hey, you can't summon a character in a game to fight on your behalf. Well, what does that mean for companions in ESO? What does that mean for any type of NPC companions that you can summon in any other MMORPG like Final Fantasy XIV or in Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls game, rather? Anything that's where it can be misconstrued. But Mrs. Maztec kind of thumbed through it a little bit closer than I did because I was talking to her about this and say, hey, this is very broad, and she's got, a little bit of a law background. So she's reading through it and she's like, it's very it is very broad sounding, but it's also very specific. It sounds like this patent is more geared towards just the Pokemon mechanic itself.
It's crazy, man. That's the one thing we've talked about. I talked about in a prior episode that it's technically it was for the longest time that game studios could not patent, copyright, whatever, certain mechanic in a game. Because then I swear it was like just 2 episodes ago we were talking about this, and that the whole reason why is because if they did start doing that, then all these other you're going to monopolize the market at some point. You're going to have so many other studios. Well, if they did it, I'm going to do it for this mechanic, and I'm going to do it for this mechanic, and then before you know it, no one's making games anymore because as soon as you do, you got to pay a licensing fee in order to use that mechanic in your game. It's ridiculous. Then you're going to see the death of gaming. You're going to see the death of indies. There's no way. So the whole idea behind doing this is ridiculous. I'm like strongly opinionated about this. Like I think it's one of the worst things that could happen in gaming is having studios being allowed or companies like Nintendo allowed to patent stuff like this. Just let it be. You can go ahead and copyright the name of Pikachu, and no one else can use the likeliness of Pikachu in their game. That's fine. Whatever. I don't think anyone really cares about that. But to actually take the mechanic of that and being like, no, the fact of like if someone uses a sphere object, throws it somewhere, and something comes out and fights for you, you can't do that in your game. I think that's dumb. I don't think that they should be allowed to do that. But
Agree.
that's just me.
I know 100% agree with you on that. And actually, you're right. It also reminded me of that conversation that we had a few episodes back. This is part of the protection process. So, and I think that's what Mrs. Maztec was talking about. This is specifically for that. But it does seem awful broad, though. It's like, oh, well, you can't summon somebody to fight on your behalf. What?
Right.
And I don't know how they got that. I mean, they obviously money greases the wheels, right? But I thoroughly disagree with it right alongside you.
I'm sorry if I'm raining on your parade, Kronos.
No, you're good.
I love Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. I love Pokemon. So it doesn't don't I don't want any.
World. I play Power World. Trust me, I play Power World a lot. I hate that Pokemon is suing them, trying to sue them over stuff.
Yeah, it's like, come on, just let it be. It's fine. Let them make their money. People like it. If anything, it's putting a bad look on Nintendo for doing that. And, I don't know. It's just like, what are you going to do? Like, you just mentioned it, Maz. Like, for Final Fantasy, what does that mean? Square Enix can't make another Final Fantasy game that has a summon? You can't summon Ifrit. You can't summon Shiva because Nintendo. I know it's like you were saying. It's more broad and mainly I'm sure it's just you're trying to focus on just the Pokemon feature of a Pokeball and all that. But still, like if it's vague enough, they can swing it that way if they really wanted to. I don't know if they would against Square Enix, but still, it's like when you leave things vague enough, that's where the muddiness of legal crap gets involved. And like, what about Moonstone Island? Moonstone Island's an indie game that I play, and I told you guys about, and I actually think I told you, Kronos, I think you would like it because it deals with a card-based system with creatures that you collect, and it's really fun. What, a game like that's never going to exist again because of this, you know?
No, I'm with you. And I was looking at it. I'm embarrassed with myself because I said companion because I wasn't thinking. Final Fantasy is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I couldn't think of the word summons when we were talking about it, but thank you for thank you for bringing that up again. Yes, summon. Yeah, I would say companions. I started with ESO, getting into Final Fantasy. It's like, yeah, companions as well, and that's what I'm afraid of. Can you not use summons anymore in future
Right.
Final Fantasy games? I mean, this is going to be. It could be really. It can really muddy things up for sure.
Yeah, yeah, man. But not to get all doom and gloom with our listeners here. I want to go ahead and continue on. So now that we get those cool little updates for our listeners to kind of dive in, you can definitely dive in on your own. We'll go ahead and share some links in the Discord this time for sure. I know sometimes we forget. I'm very bad about it, but I will have to leave myself notes as we have discussions in our podcast episodes so I can remember to go ahead and link these kind of things into the Discord with you guys. And if you didn't know, yeah, we do have a Discord. So anyone who wants to go on and join it and be in on the conversations with us and to even further discussions with us after these episodes, feel free to join. It's in the about section. Go and click the link and you could join in and like I said, chat up with us. But other than that, so would you guys think that there's kind of have you guys put together a similarity between these big hotshot games and their price tag? Did you guys notice something? How the price tag is so low? Like, look at this exploded top Steam ranks. Guzzler One, $10 price tag. You have Silksong, $20 price tag. Was it Repo? Wasn't it? How much was Repo,
I
Kronos?
Repo was $10, but I feel like Schedule 1 was 20.
Was it 20?
Schedule one was 20 and repo was 10. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had them flipped around.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
Still,
But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, like you were saying, like, just the price tags, but for the quality of a game you're getting.
it's insane, and I think it's funny. I think it leads players more likely to go and pick up the game. I know we had talked about it with a few other games that like, oh, and even you haven't mentioned it in a while either, Maz. What was that website that you have people going to get games for cheaper? Oh,
cdkeys.com, and it's now actually called Loaded. They rebranded.
look at that. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got stuff like that that you can go on and get games for cheaper. It's like people are going to try and get it for cheaper. They're going to go for the sales. How many times have we put a poll up and been like, yeah, sales are going to like you're going to go and get the game when it's going on sale. Like that's kind of the deal, right? Instead of going and getting it day one. Even though we've also mentioned a lot of these indies are throwing up their games day one on sale. And I know you mentioned it too, Maz, that that's like a marketing strategy too. Initially, day one, throw it on sale so that you can get more sales out of it.
Yeah, boost it up, get it while you can for at a discount. But I think, a lot of cases, we should all be happy that Silksong came in at $20 because that is keeping people honest. We've talked about this. May 1st, first podcast, right out of the box. We talked about pricing. We said pricing is going to go up. And it started going up. But now Silksong comes out and people are all up in arms. Well, how do we price our games then? Well, first of all, do better. And if you're doing a good job and you're standing behind your product, you're not going to worry about something like that, for one. Hollow Knight is a freak franchise. It doesn't happen like that all the time. But it's keeping prices lower right now. People don't want to pay $30, $40, $60, $70. I don't own Borderlands 4 because it's about $20 too expensive for me right now, value-wise. I don't value it at $70, and I'm a huge fan. But I don't believe the game should be that price yet. I think we're still way off from $70, and it's been $70 for a year and a half, 2 years. But with these indie games, people appreciate being able to buy them at a lower cost. It just the value's there. I mean, we said it. Hollow Knight's it could be $40 game, maybe even $60. No problem. Here it is for $20. So yeah, I think that it's great that we're keeping these prices at bay like this.
Yeah, it's almost like a reset on the market, no? As you said,
100%.
yeah, it's like everything is going up in price, and we're all like scratching our heads, like, "Oh my god, like, is this it?" Like, we were just talking about it after that first episode, and everything started going up. We're like, "Oh, that's it." We're like, we we missed the boat, Game over. Games are going
Yep.
up in price, and now Silksong comes out, and that price is only $20, and it kind of like levels a playing field again. Like, oh wait, hold on a second, you got a game as successful, a studio as successful as them coming out for only 20 bucks. All right, now you got all the players going like, ah. So the next indie that comes out trying to put it up for 50, that's not, well, it could also be taken the wrong way. That's not as good as Hollow Knight. They're like, whoa, what is going on here? You know, kind of
Exactly. I
sets it
mean,
back.
Expedition. I think of Expedition 33. They knew they had something going there. They weren't afraid of that shadow drop because it came out the same day that the Oblivion remake came out, and they're like, "Hey, we're $40," and that's the end of it. And they're making their money off of it. They're worth $40. Hollow Knight comes out with Hollow Knight 3. They might come out at $40 next time. Who knows? These are three independently wealthy developers that don't really care. I mean, they've grossed over $100 million on Silksong already, which is crazy for three
That's a,
people.
my God.
Stupid. It's stupid. So I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I'm a multi-millionaire like that, I'm selling my game for 10 to $20. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why wouldn't you kind of like, it's like, I just, it's not even just for the money. Like, obviously, money would be nice so that you can kind of do what you want. But that's the whole thing. It's like, is the fact of making that much to just do what you want to do. As I just talked about having the time to do more of what I want to do, which is make games and just do that full time. That is the goal. And the same goes for like, you or Kronos. And if you dive into this at some point or for your content creation careers, you want that to go full time. Why? Because you love it, because that's your passion. You want to continue doing that and make that full time. You don't want that to be a hobby anymore. You want it to be full swing.
Right. You gotta make your money doing it. It's not about the money, but you gotta survive. You gotta eat, right? And
Right.
if I could, and I get paid well. If I could make a game getting paid what I get paid right now, no raises or anything like that, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
It's like I've always said that these AAA studios have the Mr. Krabs syndrome. It's just like, their games. There's like they made a good game, they blowed up, and now all they think about is just money, 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 money. To me, that's what it feels like with some of these like newer like Call of Duty games and stuff. Rinse, wash, and repeat to make a buck real quick.
Well, that's what happens when you're a AAA studio there, Kronos. At that point it is about the money. I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying. So like
yeah.
that's what makes indie shine so much more too, is that it's passion projects, as like News said multiple times. Like it's some of these smaller indie devs kind of like to finish their games and stuff, especially solo devs might put their life on hold, and their work in jeopardy. They could potentially risk losing their job because they're trying to focus so much on the game. So it's a lot more of a risk for smaller devs to take a chance on making a good game. So like when it pays off for them, like hey, props to them, especially if it's what $100 million you said Silksong made.
Yeah, dude.
I
Yeah.
mean, for granted, I mean they already had the original Hollow Knight out, but like say how many devs out there like, hey, I'm gonna quit my job, I got money that's saved up, I'm just gonna focus on my game. And if it doesn't take off, then you lost everything you had built up before that by taking that chance.
Yeah, nah, it's you're 100% right on that. It's crazy to think about, these devs doing all they can to get their passion projects out there, finished. And like this one, Schedule One, we're it only took 1 to 2 years to get out. Oh, that's nuts, man. I mean, and also, well, like a side thing here, just a side thing on like simulations, right? Do you guys think that like people just love simulation games? Like maybe they're coming because I don't know if you guys have noticed that it's like a trend nowadays to or not nowadays. It's for probably past couple of years where simulation games are just coming out left and right. I mean, how many times have we brought up like unpacking and power wash simulator? Now we got supermarket simulator and car dealer simulator. Like, do you think it's just an easier way to go about making a game because it's a real life scenario? Like, you don't have to make up anything. You know how the game's going to go. If you're going to make a game about having a dealership, then you know how dealerships work. Or especially even if you worked at one, it's even better. Like, you know the ins and out of it, so it's easier for you to put a game like that together. Well, easier, quote unquote. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more work into it. I'm not trying to make light of the work that goes into the games. But compared to like a fantasy game, right, where everything is up in your head, like a story to bring of out of nowhere, that's never seen the light of day before. Do you guys? Would you feel same on that? Would you agree or no? That it would be easier to do more of a simulator, create a simulator than it would like a Final Fantasy type?
Well, I mean, so far less animation and far less coding in simulator games, right? I don't want to say, and I'm kind of walking on eggshells, kind of like you were trying to set this up. You don't
Right.
want to say anybody can make this, right? But you are pigeonholed into some things with simulator games. Every time we talk about this, and I might be stealing your thunder, Kronos, but Kronos brings up, I get bored. It's time to move on. So it's difficult to keep people coming back to that game until they're looking for that next simulator game. I mean, you can only play that so much. I mean, I told you at the beginning of the podcast here, I have 12 hours into Supermarket Simulator. That's probably over 3 or 4 days. Then what? Okay, I've stocked the shelves. People bought my food. I rung them up. They went home. You know, it's like it's just there's only so much you can do with it. And I played a game during one of my showcases early on. I think it was my second or that was actually my third showcase ever called Car Dealer Simulator. And that was buying a car. And it kind of married and mashed up a couple of different simulator games. Like, you have to wash the car. It's kind of like Car Wash Simulator or Power Wash Simulator. And then there were, you had to repair the car, kind of like Car Mechanic Simulator. And then you had to sell the car like car dealers, just like Car Dealer Simulator. But they have to constantly evolve. But it's probably one of the easier type games to make, to your point. And it probably doesn't take nearly as long to create those games. And I could be way off base here, to be honest with you, New, because I don't develop like that. I don't know what that type of game takes. And quite honestly, if I were to say I'm going to make a simulator, I might be painting myself into a corner. It could be one of the hardest things in the world.
No. Yeah. What about you, Kronos?
Oh no, I was just kind of chuckling at Mask, you know.
No, I mean, I understand. I understand. Like the world of what's involved in it and being a dev and being able to kind of like understand the back end of it, right? What would entail for me to go ahead and make a simulator game compared to my current big game that I'm working on, which is not a simulator. It's, I think, obviously two different worlds. I'm thinking more attack plan. It's easier to prototype something like that and run with it than with an obscure idea no one's heard of before, like Hollow Knight, bringing that to the table and being like, "Is this gonna work or not? I don't know. It's never been done before." Whereas in a real life situation, you can put that to paper pretty easily and be like, "Okay, based on enjoying these elements from this game and this element from this game, people like collecting, people like getting goals and blah, 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 then this is gonna work." You know? It's kind of like a but it's also an eye opener situation, I think, for devs. If we have devs listening in on this podcast as well, I'm sure we do, is the fact that they want to know what players are thinking as well, right? So the fact that you stated, right, it can get very boring. You know, you put 12 hours into the game, into a simulator game, and you're done. Like you did everything you could, right? Like what else is there to do in Supermarket Simulator? Right? Unless they update it, unless they put some DLCs in, which would keep it going, which would keep it interesting, you know? And I think that goes for any game at a certain point.
You know, like it's been over a year since TCG Shop released, and I got bored with it like back at the beginning of the year. And I think they're just now starting to come out with their update to where you can actually do like a card battle thing against other players. So like it took them almost a year to release a update that would keep players active. So that's another
Wow.
thing that's another thing honestly devs need to focus on too is timely manner on updates.
Yeah, honestly, dude. And you know, not only that, but like if they're gonna like, I think it should be just like very clear communication wise, especially from an indie dev to their community, if they're gonna do updates or DLCs in general, you know? Because
Yeah.
I think it's stupid not to. Like, it's so if your game's really good, like, and you got a lot of sales on it, you might as well do some updates and DLCs to keep people interested. I understand if it wasn't like a flop, but it was like yeah, my game did okay. It made, you know, like maybe like 10 grand off it or whatever. Like nothing to snub at, obviously, but it's like, you know, eh, maybe you have that discussion of like, ah, do I really want to update it? You know, is it worth it? You know, and have that openly with your community.
Yeah, that's where I like the roadmaps that a lot of these smaller indies are starting to use for like, hey, this update is coming first, and then after that it will be this update. Which Repo's doing a really good job of that. Like they're doing like dev videos and a roadmap of like, hey, we're coming out with this, and then the next update you're going to be getting new monsters, and then the update after that will be some new features. And it's like really good at like just keeping the player base up to date to where it's like, okay, hey, I'm gonna keep coming back and trying out this game each time they come out with something new because they're actually telling me about it. It ain't just like so. Schedule One had a bunch of updates to where it was like rival gangs got introduced and other stuff like that, and there was no like really announcements about it. It was just an update. So if you quit playing the game and never updated it, you wouldn't know.
What? Dude, that's so stupid. Why would you not market that?
Yeah, I mean, like that's like a huge update for a what $100 million game. I mean, that's
Yeah.
bring that player base back in. It's like get more
Damn.
people in.
Wow. Yeah, for sure, man. That's
What
crazy. Like, yeah, these other like fantasy style games I think would kind of keep the player hooked for longer just of the unknown ahead. You're playing a simulator game, you kind of know what you're going to get into. You're playing a fantasy game, you don't know what you're going to get into unless you watch someone else play or you read into it online on the wiki, whatever the case may be. So I think that's just the difference in that. In terms of coding and like the back end, I think it's still kind of similar with certain situations. I think it'd still be maybe just as difficult, but I think the planning, the prototyping and the planning would probably be easier on a simulator game, is what I'm trying to get at. So hopefully I didn't ramble on too much there, but and it made sense.
But like, no, I get what you're saying, dude. Because like, also, another way I was thinking of it too, as you were saying it, is just like if you did like a fast food restaurant simulator, like say a Burger King simulator. You know that you could do a drive-through. Cars pull up, take their order. You know that the menu would be like hamburgers, French fries, chicken nuggets. Like you have a strong basis to just build off of right off the start. So like you don't have to. I mean, I know, we said that we were going to try and start developing a game itself. Like, I spent hours just trying to think of like a way to make the main character in a way, and like, because I don't have a solid base to start off of, or like how I'm going to make the game play and stuff. Like, it's a lot when you're starting fresh versus doing a simulator, which is copying a real life scenario that you have so much information about already.
Yeah, definitely a very valid point. No, cool. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, no, I wanted to just get that out there because I was curious what you guys thought as well. One being, early devs and in your own right with jumping into these engines and the first rite of passage when it comes to this kind of stuff. And then also being players, getting into the game and having another outlook in that way. But yeah, so other than that, wait, before we get into the next thing, I want to go ahead and take this time to take a quick ad break. And when we get back, we're going to go over some other case studies when it comes to solo devs, and we'll probably get into what do you know? The mailbag right after this. Hey, Indie Hangout crew, loving the show? Help us spread the word by dropping a quick 5-star rating or review wherever you might be listening to this podcast. It takes just a second and helps more than you know. Thanks for being awesome. Now, back to the show. And welcome back to the Indie Hangout podcast with me, Neumatix, OSOK Kronos, and Maztech Gaming. So, if you were just popping in, it'd be kind of weird to pop in the middle of a podcast episode, but who am I to judge? We've been talking about solo devs and their success in the indie scene, right? So I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and put together from, of course, I got some AI to generate for me a bit of the top 10 solo dev games of all time. And, we haven't done it since the first episode we brought it about, but smash your pass. Why not? Let's bring it about. Obviously, on the games that maybe we haven't played. So, off of the top 10 solo dev games of all time, number one, I mean, come on. Come on. You got to guess it. Any of our listeners right away. Minecraft. Minecraft, obviously, developed by
No
Notch.
way.
I know, right? Sandbox survival. Everyone knows about it. Yeah, obviously. I'd say I'd pass on this one. I've no, I have nothing but to thank my channel growth a lot for this game in general. So seeing that it was the main bulk of my channel on YouTube. So yeah, obviously number one.
Not not only would I smash it, I've smashed it thousands of times.
Like, used and abused.
Used and abused.
And I know Kronos ain't no stranger.
Nope, I've smashed that game quite a bit.
All right. All right, cool. Next up, number 2 on the list. It's talked about so many times. I've resisted
Pass,
talking about it
pass.
this entire. Shut your mouth.
We haven't even got there yet.
Stardew. Wow, man. Not even spoken the word. Stardew Valley. Number 2 on the list back in 2016. Everyone knows about it. I love the game. Other people don't. It's okay, Kronos. It's okay to be wrong, but it's a great game. Number 2 on the list. Obviously, it's a smash almost all the time when I'm on my Steam Deck. Power that thing up and I'll start playing. Sorry, I'm going to interject real quick, but I beat Final Fantasy VII. Just so you guys know, I'm really
Nice.
proud of
That's your
that.
first time, right?
Yep. First time I ever beat the
Nice.
original.
Good stuff,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. One
I've
of
never
those.
beat a single Final Fantasy game.
My man. Good
Oh, you're
job,
missing out,
brother.
Kronos.
Oh, my heart bleeds for you, bro.
It hurts.
Or no, wait, never mind. I take that back because we did confirm it when Maz beat Final Fantasy IV.
I thought you never beat it.
No, remember because I was like, hey, wait a minute, I know all this because then I was like, it shows everybody with their groups and stuff at the end and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. We did confirm that was the game he was talking about
Yeah.
7 or 8 episodes ago.
Wow. So you're a liar.
So
you
yeah,
beat
I
it.
did beat that one because like I was sitting there
Smashed it.
and like
Smashed it good.
the final boss as Maz was fighting him on his stream. I'm like, this looks familiar. And then I'm like, wait a minute, is this the like once you beat this one, like that's the end of the game? I was like, and then it starts showing everybody like at their castle and on the ship and stuff, and like sure enough, it started going through all the sequences. I'm like, I remember this. I'm like, I beat this game.
Nice.
Heck yeah, dude. Oh yeah, little. Like I finally did it. All right. Anyways,
Back to it, guys.
to it. Yeah, Stardew Valley. Yeah, number 2. Okay. You guys don't need to say anything. Okay, it's fine.
You know
It's
what?
fine.
You know what?
I'll smash.
Wow.
I want to give it
Really?
another chance. And, to be honest with you, real talk, bro, we go back many, many years now. And any game that you recommend is worth a second sight. So I'm going to say smash on this one.
What?
I like stay neutral on this one. I'll just be honest with you.
Just a tip.
I haven't played it, so I can't say it's I'm gonna pass on it. But I'm not saying that I just absolutely smash this game either.
So you're gonna friend zone it.
Yeah, for now.
All right. Next, number 3 in the list, Undertale. All right, we've talked about this game quite a few times. Toby Fox, if any of our is the developer behind it. If any of our listeners haven't heard about it, it's a retro RPG with a meta narrative, bullet hell combat and choice driven. It's a bit of story. I remember talking about this game that a lot of my listeners, not my listeners, my subscribers had played this game and they loved it. And like the whole thing behind it, like Toby Fox had made some characters that like looked too good under his scope. And he's like, yeah, it looks too good. Make it look more crappy. Like it's such a weird game. I know you guys have heard about it. Is it a smash or pass?
It's a smash. That game is fun. It is funny. It's story heavy. It's awesome. I absolutely, every time I've played it, I enjoy it. It's hard. It can get hard to put down, especially as you invest into the story. So that's, that belongs on the top 10.
I'd say for me, I mean, just based off of like what I've seen on it as we've talked about it, looking up videos and stuff, I would play it. So that's gonna be a smash from me.
Yeah. I think it's going to be 3 smashes all the way around. I think that I need to play this game. Like I've said before, anything out of the curiosity because of the game it is, because of the success it's had, obviously being number 3 on this list of solo dev games of all time. It's like, I don't know, it's just a game you wouldn't think would be based on how it looks, but obviously looks can be deceiving. So I gotta play it. I gotta know its secret sauce. So smash. Next up. All right. Number 4, RimWorld. So this was developed by Tynan Sylvester. It's a sci-fi colony sim with AI storytelling and emergent narratives. So he coded the core systems solo over years, outsourcing only minor assets. He sold over 5 million copies by 2025 with 100,000 plus concurrent Steam players at peaks. It's hugely replayable. And yeah, so I mean, off of all that, I had to look this game up because I hadn't heard about it before. And it looks interesting. It looks pretty cool. It's Another 2D style game, top down. I'm gonna smash. I'm gonna smash. I'm gonna check this one out. Obviously, it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews over on Steam as well. So it's something that I can see myself digging some time into as well. What do you guys?
For me, I'm gonna have to say pass because it honestly just. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty decent game, but it just nothing's catching my eye. I'm like, I want to play this.
Wow.
I know, bah humbug.
I gotta be honest. I'm saying smash on this. I've got a viewer in my community. His name's Jordan, and he has been crazy on this game for a good while. He's always talking about cool new things to do. It's got AI storytelling, so to your point, you said that hugely replayable because it's a different story each time. It's got some procedural generation to it, so it has a lot to offer. I'm definitely looking forward to smashing on this. It's one of those $40 indie games.
Ooh. Ooh. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be looking for a sale.
You and me both.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So the next one on the list, Vampire Survivors. Oh, literally, I heard about this game a lot. I heard it coming up on my X feed. I saw it over on Steam page. It came out in 2021. It was developed by Luca Galanti. It's a roguelite bullet hell, another bullet hell. It's an auto shooter with addictive upgrades. So it's one of those games we've seen a lot of lately, along with simulator games. We've seen these bullet hell games. I think it's like out of the three main ones I've seen a lot of is roguelite, bullet hells, and simulators. But yeah, so this one sold over 5 million copies by 2023, surging to 10 million plus with expansions. Expansions, look at that. See, another dev that understands that that is something that helps prolong or make your game live longer. It peaked at 100,000 plus players on Steam. And yeah, it's simple yet infinitely scalable. What do you guys think? What do you think, Kronos? Is this a smash or pass?
I'm gonna smash this one. I actually want to try that out. It looks very, very interesting, and I love games that have the wild upgrades that you can get and stuff as you're playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. Sorry. It's not my style, man. I don't know. It's something weird. Like it's funny because it kind of reminds me of that other game you play, the Magic one, but obviously better graphics. What's that called again?
The Spell Brigade.
Yeah. Spell Brigade. That's
Yeah. See, I like those games where you can get those broken like builds and stuff going on. That's just so much fun to me. Like, how can I break my game?
Yeah, I mean, I can see myself playing Spell Brigade, but I don't know. It's kind of like how the one for you, RimWorld, that you were like, nothing's catching for me. That's for me on this one. So I'm gonna pass. How about you, Mess?
$4.99. That's a cheap smash for me. Absolutely. Don't even have to buy a full dinner for this one.
Wow,
And yeah.
no wine or dine.
Wine, dine, smash. And I will tell you, I won't finish that.
That's a
but,
McDonald's dinner.
Right, it's a
Yeah,
value
man.
meal, bro. And if I want
Yeah,
all the
for a value.
DLC, yeah, I mean, there's literally 7 other DLC that go with it for $23, $24. If you like it, if you don't like it, hey, you're out $5. But let's smash it a little bit, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, dude, $5, $4.99. It kind of makes me want to just be like, yeah, whatever. I'll pay for it and try it out. But honestly, I'd probably buy it and I probably wouldn't boot it up.
Worst
That's
case
good
scenario,
though.
you're out $5.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is very true.
But this also kind of reminds me of a game that I could just play for free on mobile.
Yeah, it does give those vibes for sure.
Yeah.
All right, next. That's funny. It's so funny. This one's on the list. No one's ever heard about this one. Tetris.
What the hell's that?
Tetris. All right, what is this game? 1984 solo dev Alexei Pahitnov. I actually remember back in college going through game dev history, learning about this guy making this game in Russia, and he didn't make a dime off of it, which is crazy. Obviously everyone knows about it, so no need to jump in too much to it. But it generated $1 billion in revenue historically, and obviously you can play it pretty much on everything, any kind of device you can think of. You can probably play Tetris on. So yeah, obviously, all of us, not much else to go on then on that one. I've played it, I like it, and that's pretty much it for me.
I'm pretty sure if we go by the pass and smash on Tetris, we would all smash it.
Oh yeah.
Just not at the same time.
Not at the
Definitely not at
same
the same
time.
time, bro. I
I mean, they
love
got
you guys, but not that much.
they got multiplayer. Why not, guys? Be open minded here.
They're going to put you on a white couch.
Oh no, Tetris, no.
It fit in here.
My goodness. Next up, we got moving on. Balatro's next on the list. A solo dev, and I'd be curious if any of our listeners listening in, if they knew that these games were made by just a solo dev. Probably eye-opening for a lot of these games. So Balatro, obviously 2024, made by Local Thunk. It's a poker roguelike deck builder. And I'm gonna say that. Oh, before I say anything, so it sold over 2 million copies in months, right? Peaking at 100,000 plus Steam players, and it got really good reviews, 90 plus on Metacritic. It's a 2024 breakout hit, and it's still popular, and you still hear people talking about it. You still have people playing it nonstop to this day. So, my take, you guys know my take on card games.
Passing.
I'm gonna pass.
Yep.
I'm passing. I can't do it. I even looked it up and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could. And I looked it up and I'm like going over videos and screenshots and I can't, man. My scope of card games goes to Moonstone Island and that's it, man. I think. I'm not gonna like put that in stone because there could be a game that comes along that changes my mind. But yeah, so pass. Mass?
I kind of want to smash it. It does look interesting to me. I do like card games. I like roguelikes. I think that it's pretty cool. And it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it got Game of the Year, didn't it, in 2024?
I think so. And I think that's why I got so much hype behind it.
Yes, it won Game of the Year at some award ceremonies, but not all of them, it says.
Oh, okay.
It won Game of the Year at the Dope Indie Game of the Year Awards and the Game Developers Choice Awards.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's also, tells you a lot by winning awards.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I do like that.
Builds credibility for these games. And good
Yeah.
on these people for doing it. For a game like that to win Game of the Year, that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to. God, I'm gonna have to pass on it for now. I hate to say it that way.
How dare you, Kronos?
I know, but like it's one of those games I feel like I would buy it and it would just sit.
Wow, coming from the card guy. Yeah. No, no, obviously makes I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. Cool. Yes. Balatro right there. All right. So next up, Spelunky. Spelunky was made in 2008. The developer was Derek Yu. Procedurally generated platform roguelike with traps and secrets. So you coded and designed it solo using Game Maker, the same one that Paul uses. So it was originally free and it was influenced by other indies. The HD remake sold 1 million plus copies, had over 10 million players total, and it really was a pioneer for the roguelite genre. And if our listeners didn't know, spelunking is cave diving. So it's another term for cave diving. So it kind of gives you an idea of what the game would be about. It looks like a lot of fun. And not to jump in on this right away, but I'm going to smash. I really have been wanting to jump into this game. It's kind of one of those games that pops on my radar every now and then, and I keep reminding myself like, I need to get that game. I need to jump on that again, and I always forget. But bringing it up again, I've saved it over on my wish list, and I will be smashing this one. How about you, Kronos?
For me, actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a smash. And the reason why is because now looking this game up, I've played it before.
No way.
My my stepson had it on his Switch, and I was like, he had it pulled up, and I was just sitting there playing it one day. Like I didn't even see what the name of the game was, and like I sat there for like an hour and a half just playing it, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty fun. Kept forgetting to look and see what the name of the game was, and now that I see it, I've literally played it and was like rather addicted to it. So yeah, it's a smash for me.
Nice.
Definitely a smash. I have smashed this thing quite a bit already. Lots of fun, this game. Splunky, there's also a Splunky 2. So, I mean, running off of the success of the game, it's a pretty simple game. It's based off of, I don't know if you guys have heard of the game Spelunker. You were just talking about spelunking as in cave diving and whatnot, but Spelunker is a game that came out for the original NES. And this game, Splunky, was inspired by that.
Man, I love it. Another one.
Smash.
retro revivals. Nice. Another trio smashing. So next up, so two more left, fellas. Two more left. Papers, Please is another one. Number 9 on our list. So it was obviously solo dev made by Lucas Pope, a dystopian sim where you inspect immigrants' documents amid moral dilemmas. Pope handled all aspects solo. He sold over 5 million copies, downloads, won IGF awards, and BAFTA. Short but impactful. It's only a 5-hour game, so but it inspired discussions of bureaucracy and ethics. So I've seen this game pop up on my timeline. I've seen it pop up over on Steam for me. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna have to pass. That's just it does not look like something I would play.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
you guys have played. It's called Quarantine Zone, Last Checkpoint. That's a really, really fun game. And so I have not done a showcase video for it yet, but I have streamed the showcase for it. I'm waiting for it to come out, waiting a little bit later to get a release date and do it a little bit closer to the time, but I don't think I'm going to wait for that. My point bringing that up is that a lot of my viewers compared that to Papers, Please. And I had a blast with Quarantine Zone. So if it's at all like Quarantine Zone, I'm ready to smash.
Dang, Maz smashing a lot throughout all these. And the same as Kronos, man. I'm passing. I'm gonna pass on this one. No, thank you. We could be friends. I'll see you every now and then. Maybe acquaintances. I'll see you every now and then on my Steam page, but I'm not gonna be clicking on you. That's I don't know. It's just it kind of reminds me of a narrative game, you know? And we haven't really talked about narrative games too much. Maybe that'll be a good discussion to get into one of these days. But yeah, it's a pass for me. It's not something I'm really into. So, but I'll watch you play. I'll watch you play it, Mass. If you play it, I'll go and jump in on your stream while you get into the ins and outs of that game.
I love it. Yeah, I may do that. I didn't realize it was 2013. I really
Yeah.
didn't. Been around for a minute.
Yeah, honestly. Cool. All right. Last up on the list, guys. We've talked about it a lot in the beginning of this episode. Schedule 1 made the top 10 list of solo dev games, most popular solo dev games of all times. Obviously, it came out this year, 2025, for TVGS, which it says anonymous solo dev, but Kronos kind of put two and two together with the acronym and found out what it meant. Yeah, it's a drug empire simulator game. You craft, you can figure out the different types of drugs you can create and all that fun stuff. It was built in Unity, as the same game engine that I use as well. Released obviously this year, like I said, sold 8 million plus copies, generated $125 million in revenue, outpacing many AAA titles. Wow. 500,000 concurrent peaks in Steam, viral hit via organic buzz. So, but the question remains, smash or pass, guys. Kronos, what do you think?
Smash. I've played it quite a bit.
Oh, there you go.
I've played this game a lot, actually.
I definitely want to smash.
I found this one out. You want to smash too, Maz? I found this one out from Kronos. Did you find it from Kronos? I watched him stream it.
I think I did, actually. This came out in March, and yeah, I think it was actually Kronos that did turn me on to it for sure. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, pretty sure. I think it's weird. It's crazy that this is on the top 10 of all time, and it hasn't even been out 6 months yet. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
all time.
All time.
It's on the list with a game that came out in 1984.
That's crazy. 41-year difference.
Insane. Yeah. I am gonna pass. Sorry. I don't know.
Get out.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm done. Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye, guys. That's a wrap.
Yeah, he's going back to Stardew Valley.
Yeah, what do you know?
You guys want me? I'll be in Stardew.
Hey, if I'll go grow my crops. You guys, you can go make your drugs, okay?
We will also grow our crops.
We're gonna grow our crops too, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a different way. Oh my gosh.
Does Stardew Valley have a grow room? No, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm sure there's a mod for it. Now I'm curious.
I'm sure.
Man, I just I don't know. I if I got it on Game Pass, I'd probably play it. But I know it's not one of those types to be on Game Pass. So what is it? It's $20, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's $19.99.
I don't see myself playing it for that. I'll be
No,
honest.
it's all
No.
good.
Yeah. So pass for me. But yeah. So there you guys have it. Top 10. All laid out for you. Smashed or passed. I think Maz smashed every single one of these and didn't think twice about it. All right.
No, hell no. It's all the experience here. I think I I no, I think I passed. I guess just
You did
barely
pass
smashed Vampire
Balatro, I think.
Survivors. I smashed
One of
every
them
one
you
of
did,
them.
mate.
You're
Maybe.
No,
right.
he said he wanted
I'm
to
looking
smash
back through it.
Balatro.
Oh yeah,
I'm
maybe you
tired.
did. I don't know. It's fine. You smash them all. Smash them all. It's fine, Maz.
I'm
Yeah, I
tired.
think Mash said he was gonna smash them all. He said he ain't turning none of them down.
Gotta smash them all.
God. Going along with the theme. Oh my
There
god.
you go. Oh, I
All
don't.
right.
Ooh, we're gonna get sued for that.
Oh, we're gonna get sued. We just dropped the theme song.
Yeah. Oh, we better patent. Gotta smash them all before it's too
My
late.
gosh. Well, I would
Ooh, is
go
that a
ahead.
new idea for an indie game?
Why? No. No, no, no.
Smash them all instead of going around and capturing creatures. You just run around with a giant hammer like Gallagher.
A hammer, huh?
Yeah, dropping
Yeah,
the
you gotta
hammer.
smash them. Just smash them.
Well, for our listeners, I think that it would be a good idea for us to throw this over in our Discord so that you guys can go ahead and let us know your smasher passes on each one of these. And also just to have the information available for you to read over and kind of dig in even more if you wanted to and further discussion as we always do. But yeah, guys, so that was it. Top 10 solo devs of all time and a little bit of the above, talking about the solo devs making a big mark in the industry. Last thing before we end off the pod, because we have a question. Oh, yeah. We got something to go over, Mr. Kronos, in the mailbag.
Mailbag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over
Yeah.
in the mailbag, we have a question from our good old friend Yemi. So, Yemi asks, with Silk Song being out now, what's the next quote unquote GTA of indie games? That's a good one. I like. I saw this last week and I was thinking about it, and I have a good one, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you have a good game that you think is going to be like the next breakout? Or I can go first.
Why don't you go
That's
first?
tough.
You usually
Yeah,
you
why
usually
don't you
don't
go
go
first?
first.
All right, yeah, I'll go first. No worries. So I think now, after I say it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, surprise! No way, new. Come on." It's
Stardew Valley 2, huh?
no, yes and no. So the same developer, Eric Baroni, who developed Stardew Valley, he's working on another game, and this other game is called Haunted Chocolatier, and he's been in the development process for quite a few years already. There's no definitive release date, but based on the hype that is generated every single time he speaks just a tiny bit about this game, people go nuts. My feed goes nuts about this game. So, as far as anyone knows, and there's a trailer of it over on YouTube for it, and I'll go ahead and put that into the Discord as well. It's pretty much like you're just like think of Willy Wonka, but like a haunted mansion. And you're as far as like the trailer goes, it's like you guys going around collecting ingredients to make these different chocolates in this community. And that's pretty much it so far. Like it's got similar mechanics to Stardew, but as far as anyone can tell, it wasn't shown if they're doing any kind of farming or anything like that, which is nice because you don't want Stardew Valley 2. You want something different. You want something new, right? And I think he's doing a very good job of that, of just taking what he did well with Stardew, but then amplifying it and just making everything better and with his new ideas and concepts. So yeah, that's the one I think is going to be the next big one of indie games.
Wrong.
Wow.
Incorrect, sir. No, maybe. Who knows, right? Enter the Gungeon. Remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
You guys have played that, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Little pixel art love, bullet hell. We love that. Well, next year, Enter the Gungeon 2 comes out, and it's in 3D format. So updated graphics, 120 frames per second. And this one came out in 2016. 37,934 overwhelmingly positive reviews. Most recently, 341 very positive reviews. And I think based on the wild success of the original Enter the Gungeon 2 will be the most anticipated game as it comes out. I don't think it's ever going to touch Silk Song levels, obviously, but people will be aware of it.
Hell yeah, I like it.
Oh man, I kind of feel bad for this because I don't look at like a lot of what's coming out. I'll be honest with you, I barely know past what's coming out next month.
Hey, nothing wrong with that though, man. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's hard too because like in terms of certain games coming out, we've talked about this a little bit before. Actually, Maz has talked to me a bit about my development process and kind of just reminding me and helping me in terms of being like, hey man, with making this smaller game, you should probably try and market it now. Start making B-roll of it now, start making videos of it now so that you can have it up there and that's your marketing, that development process up into the release of the game. But not all developers do that. And I think that's an issue where like you may not know unless it's already a big dev. I mean, the two games me and Maz just spouted out were from already real well-renowned indie devs, or indie games in general. So it's kind of like they already knew like they were going to get hype behind their games by letting it out there that, oh, this is in development. So I get it. No, I 100% get it. But all right. So that is it from us. Thank you, Yemi, for the question over in the Discord. And as always, for our listeners, if you want to go ahead and jump in on the mailbag as well, or the polls that we post over when we put polls up. I'll be honest, I forgot to put this one up. So that's on me. But we usually do polls for every episode and we'll answer mailbag questions about every episode if we have time for them, like tonight. So that's about it, guys. That's it. Gonna wrap her up. So if you guys loved this episode, we really hope you did. Be sure to chat with us over in Discord. And be sure, if you didn't know, we release episodes every Thursday at 5 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And until next time, we'll talk with you later. Bye, guys.
That's a wrap.
See you later.